Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, though, and
Yeah.
I kind of want to switch gears.
Yeah.
I want to get personal.
Yeah.
Because I've known you my whole life. I mean, no brainer. But what I've noticed about you is like, and I'm talking about back when we were like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm talking about young when you were like elementary.
Yeah.
What I want to know is where do you get your drive from? And this, before you answer, I want to let you know really what I'm saying, because going back to when we were young, like I can remember thinking about it now. I can remember school being out and the summertime and everybody out playing. You were always focusing on your craft. It's weird to me now. Like everybody out playing basketball. You would be in the living room doing your dances all day. And whatever you always evolved into, you were locked into that. And it's just me now being 49 years old. I'm looking at you like, dang it, like whatever it is that got you where you are now. The chief, like that's nothing new. Like it's always been there. So what is it that you use for your drive that people that are watching can say, hey, you know what? I understand that. I can tap into that too. What motivates you?
So let me tell you a quick story. But one of my primaries is I am Chief Human Resource Officer for an international company, and I'm responsible for 3,500 plus employees in India, Vadodara, and Gungandagar.
Okay.
And then several locations in the U.S. from Florida to Houston, San Antonio. That's our newest center, San Antonio. And then some East Texas areas, also Dallas.
Yeah.
But then also Jamaica, Montego Bay. My junior year in high school, and I don't know if they do this now, but juniors and seniors were required to go to a counselor, and they were required to just talk about what it is you want to do. Where do you want to go to college? What is it that you want to be? And I remember, and I don't mind sharing this story, and I would call her and talk about it today if she's still alive, but the counselor told me that I need to consider not going to college, but finding a different craft, like doing hair, is what she said. And while that field, is admirable, I think that's a great talent, she was discouraging me from the dreams that I had, which was to go to college. So that's one story. Another story, several people told me, don't try out for Rangerette, because they don't want African American people. They don't, and you're not going to make it. Veronica, they're not going to accept you. And so my drive has always been, you tell me that I can't do it, then I'm going to do everything that I can. There are some people who are just by default naturally smart in science. I'm not one of them. But I will make A's in science. That's because I study. And that's just the vein that I know that I have to be in. I'm going to study hard. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to learn the craft because that's what I have to do. But you tell me that I can't do it, my competition becomes myself. So I'm competing against Veronica, no one else. It's me. Yes, I can. And why can't I? Why can't I?
It's crazy that you say that, because even going back to when we were young and seeing you go through all the different sports and activities and track and all that, it seemed like there was always some resistance around you because you were always pushing the envelope. There was I can remember there was like, hey, you know what? This group of women like and it's crazy that we were saying this in the 80s, 90s. That no black person has ever done this, and you were like, that's my cue. you know what I mean? After going hard, going out there and out competing people, not pulling a race card on some like you were going out there and like summertime putting the work in, whether it was running track, whether it was drill team, and you would show up on the first day of school and show them like I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always admired that. I didn't know that I admired it. I was seeing it, and I was getting data from that. But it's just like now in my 40s, I'm understanding like, man, like Nate was a powerhouse living. So I'm sure at work you're giving the same energy.
Well, so when I first started working at this company, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I want a seat at the top, but I had a lot of development. And I remember I felt that it was impossible because it was a room full of 6 men, and they were all Caucasian. And I hope that they hear this because this is true. And so I felt that it would be challenging for me to become a part of that circle because I was younger, female, African American, and they were all a little older and white, and there were 6 of them. Yeah. And I remember when they told me that this is what they wanted me to do, and I began to advance with the company, I had a seat at the table, but it was a partial seat. So I had a seat at the table. It was visually a seat at the table, but when we were in those executive meetings, the only female in there, by default, they asked me to take notes, and I did. And I remember taking notes of the meeting, and now I am a leader just like they are, but I'm taking notes. So I was actually known as the secretary. And I remember after a year and a half, I thought, I'm not taking notes today.
Yeah.
And I walked into the meeting, and not with an attitude. I never had an attitude, but I remember my leader, who has been a great mentor. He just said, Veronica, you got notes? You know, it was like, you got notes? And I said, not today, someone else.
Yeah.
Why don't you try taking the notes? Here you go.
Yeah.
And that was my last time ever taking notes in an executive meeting. And it was funny, though, because when I said, I'm not taking notes today, who has it? They were all looking at each other like, I don't know. Who? And they were going around the room, which was so funny. But I was actually done with that particular assignment. Because I'm like, why am I taking notes?
For real.
Like, why? Like, no, really, why? Because that's not my title. I was the senior leader, just like everyone at the table.
Yeah.
So,
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's say today's the last day the planet will be in existence, and you're handed a microphone, and everybody on the entire land of the globe of the world is listening to you. What is your final message to the world? Like, what have you learned? What have you learned in your life that you can say, hey, you know what? This is what everybody should know. Or this is what's your truth?
Wow. That's such a good question. There are 3 things that come to mind. I have a favorite word, and I tell people this all the time, and it's peace. Peace. If you don't have peace in your life, then life is full of chaos. I'm all about peace because that's how my energy is enhanced. So you have to have a peaceful life. But I'm going to go somewhere else for a second. And I guess one of the many learnings would be let them. And there's a book, and her name is Mel. I can't remember her last name, but there's a book, and it's called Let Them. So when they are criticizing you, let them. When they are doubting who you're going to be, let them. When you're going against the grain of life, and you're doing something that seems like it's impossible and no one understands, but you feel like in your gut, this is what you need to be doing, then let them. And so the book is about, the theory is on let them. Stop making decisions because of people. And stop not reaching for your goal because of people. As an example, there are some people who will post on Facebook and they'll get 5 likes and they're discouraged because they don't have 500 likes from someone else. But let them. Let them not like you for a while. That's okay. Learn from that experience, but then keep on going. If you feel like you have a word or message to share, then let them do whatever they're going to do. Because when you begin to focus on what they are doing, then you remove yourself from what God created you to do in the first place. Then you miss your own purpose. So whatever happens in life, let them. Let them.
How do you obtain peace?
Prayer, meditation, breathing, meditation, self-reflection. I have a book.
That's huge.
It's
That's huge. Bro.
that may actually the book made it's green right there. Go back, go keep on going, stop. Keep on going. No. Next one, turquoise, right there. I think that is it. Oh, no. Oh, it is. So this is, what did you learn today? I actually got this from personalizationmall.com, but it's what did you learn today? Seriously, every other day I am walking by and someone will say something and I take it and I write it. The other day, like as an example, someone said, how do you be remarkable? How can I be remarkable? And the other person said, you got to be passionate. You got to be obsessed, be relentless, be courageous. And I thought, I'm writing that down. That's good stuff. And so I listen to people and I learn from everybody. Mackenzie, who is just 21 years old, she actually said something. What did she say? Here it is. She said, Mom, I want to discover, define, and decide what it is I want in life. And I was like, say that again? And she said, I want to discover, define, and decide.
That's heavy.
That is heavy stuff.
Heavy.
And so we have to always be in the mode of learning. So I tell the leaders at the company that I work for, if you ever get to a place and you're not learning and you've stopped because you think you've arrived, you're failing and everyone else is. There's something that's called law of the lid. So you have a cup and this is your lid. We need to keep raising that lid. Most people, they have that lid, they grow, they become great, they become subject matter experts, and this is where they are. They believe they have it all together, but they don't. That's because they're not raising the lid.
True.
Law of the lid is to keep it rising. And even when you think that you have it all, you don't. So there's always something to learn, and people think that they've gotten to a place where they don't have to learn anymore, or they've gotten to a certain age where they don't want to change and they know it all. And that's a shame. That's failure.
Yeah,
failure
sense.
is what will happen.
Makes sense. Another question.
Yeah.
So you're very successful, right? You look half your age. Like you look half your age. You're very successful. You've done great in your career. Beautiful marriage. One of the healthiest marriages I've ever seen. Kids, all kids are on point. Everybody around you is flourishing. Beautiful, magnificent home. Garage full of foreign cars. You know what I'm saying? Like life is good. What would you say your greatest achievement is? Doctorate degree. Let me throw that in there. What are you most? This may be a hard question.
It is hard.
I don't want to say what are you most proud of because there's so many.
There's
because you don't want to downgrade. Maybe how can I ask that a different way?
I get the question, and
yeah.
I get it, and it's funny because you would think it would be academics and my job, my title. You would think, but it's not. It is. Families aren't unified like they've always been, and people grow and they move and they go to different places. And I was speaking to a couple of people not too long ago, which is why this comes to mind, and they shared with me. There was one person that said, "I have not talked to my kids in about 6 or 7 months." And I just thought, wow, I'm just trying to imagine not talking to my kids for 6 or 7 months. And of all the kids that I have, which we have a lot, I don't go a week without talking to them. That's not big. What's big is they desire to talk to me.
It's huge.
After all of the discipline and the guidance and grounding and all those things that they had to deal with as a child, and they grow up and they move on and they become their own independent adult, they call me not to ask questions but just to talk about food, about life, and just laugh. And I think that is one of my biggest accomplishments, that I have kids who still want to hang out with me when they don't have to. They don't have to. They don't even live. They're like, some are in Dallas and the others are in Houston. They were actually all over the place at one point. Wichita, New York, Boston. But they wanted to talk to me. And to me, that is huge.
That is huge. That's major. As my mentor, you see how I move, you see what I do, you see the decision. What do you see that I could do to enhance my life? or my career or anything?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a hard question because I admire you for so many reasons.
I appreciate that.
Your drive. You have a drive. Your intelligence, your desire to learn information, but then regurgitate and spread it. I just admire all those things. You're courageous. Like, I mean, you're getting ready to go from afar. You're going, that's courageous. And so you're bold. And so the only thing that I could say is be bolder. And don't stop the momentum of what you're doing because you're making an impact already. And I think, although you are amazing, I think that what you're doing, it should be even bigger. Even bigger. And it's already big, but it should be even bigger, which is why I'm so happy that you're doing what you're doing because you're going to reach other countries even more so.
Yeah.
But you are amazing talent, and I appreciate that you have the courage to step into your own, your faith. You remember when you were beginning this new journey, I'm sure Mom was like, "What's happening? What's happening?" Let them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you knew where you needed to go. Well, you felt it. It just felt right.
Yeah.
Then let them.
Yeah. Interesting. So my last question, 'cause I know you gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
Again, your drive, your success, your demeanor, your professionalism, everything about you. Who would you say, living or dead, has had the most impact on who you are and why?
I have a lot of answers to that. You've been very impactful. You've been very impactful because you've been a friend, but you've been a brother, and you've always made me feel safe. I don't even know if I've ever told you this, but you've always made me feel safe, and because I think several times in my life I needed a big brother, and I don't know how that happened.
Weird.
It beautifully orchestrated. One day you called me big brother, little sister, and you became my big brother, and I really forget that I'm the oldest. You are my big brother, and you've always made me feel safe, and you've just been a protector for me, and I'm so proud and honored to be your little sister, and so you've been impactful. But I have to tell you that my dad was very impactful. He was rugged, and as a matter of fact, and very hard on me. So I always wanted to please and go above and exceed expectations for him. So that was one. And my mom, who's always been the cheerleader. So no matter what I wanted to do, she was like, you can do it, you can do it. So she's always been a cheerleader. But I also have to give credit to the people who have not spoken positivity in my life, who told me that I didn't need to go to college and I needed to do this. I thank them for that because they made me take a step back and they pushed me over the edge. I appreciate those people who told me, Veronica, no, that's a man, a group of men, you're not going to get there. I appreciate that because it made me say, well, why not? So the question for everybody would be, why not? So impactful, you, my mom, my dad, and those people who said, no, you can't.
It's weird. It's not weird. It's the fact that you said that, and I don't want to get on that whole topic, but how much having a father in like a lot of, I've always thought that, hey, a young man needs to have a father and a young daughter needs to have a mother. But that relationship between a father and daughter is huge.
It is different.
And you can see it where it's not playing out like it should, and so,
Right. It's what, even something as simple with when my mom would say, "Oh, you look so beautiful," that's a nice and fuzzy feeling. But when your dad said, "You look beautiful," that's nice. There's just something that's different, that's a little more powerful, coming from that father figure. Yes, 100%.
So outside of work, do you have anything going on outside of work that you're working on?
A couple of things. You inspired me about a year and a half ago. We had a conversation, and I told you that I wanted to start a business. And I said the reason I wanted to start a business was I could help small companies who may not have an HR department. I could help them with job descriptions. I could ensure that they were in compliance with FSLA laws. answering questions that may be difficult, from disciplinary actions to helping them with their handbook.
That's huge.
That's what I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And this year I launched it. It's called Chimney Hill HR Group.
Nice.
I have a couple of clients, and so
Nice.
it's growing.
Congrats.
I'm excited about that. So there's more to come with that. But I'm also writing a couple of books, but I have 2 books that I've written. And I actually wrote this one with your niece, my daughter, Kaylee, Mindful K.
I love that.
And it's on affirmation and reflection. And one of the things how I want people to use this is just in the mornings when they wake up, just open up to a page and it says, "Patience brings me closer to the love I deserve." This one on the next page says, "I am an amazing being." And the reason why this is important to me, my why, is we don't speak life into ourselves. We speak negativity.
Facts.
We'll say all types of things. We'll say, "I've gained weight. Oh my gosh, I had a rough day. I'm so exhausted. I don't have enough energy." I mean, we speak those things like, as a matter of fact, they're very natural, but we don't speak a lot of positivity. And so words of affirmation and reflection is critical. And so that's why we designed this.
Nice.
I have a conference every year. About a little less than 100 people are there.
Okay.
It's a journey to love. It's for couples. And this is the book that I actually wrote with my husband,
Nice.
Journey to Love. And it's just the journey on being happy in your relationship, because there's so many relationships that are failing. People aren't happy. They're
Yes.
pretending to be happy.
Yes.
They're not laughing out loud at home. They're not cooking together. They're not eating together. They're not praying together. They're not talking to. They're talking at.
Very true.
And we just talk about all of those dynamics are critical. And then people think that there's the perfect marriage, and it's not.
What is this?
There's a perfect way to deal with your marriage. So there's going to be conflict. How are you going to deal with it?
No doubt.
There's going to be some disagreements and disappointments, and the kicker is, how do you deal with that? And so we are a work in progress, and I'm happy to call my husband my friend, and we've been friends for a long time now, and I'm happy to call him friend. And I think that's important. I think a friendship with your spouse is critical, and a lot of people believe that. They're like, "That's my spouse, that's my husband, that's my wife. We don't need to be friends." Well, yes, you do. You should be friends. And
So 2 questions.
Yeah.
Where can they find the books?
Yeah.
One, and the second question is, do y'all have any, or do y'all have any future projects where y'all are doing like maybe retreats to help couples, or do y'all bring any in the ministry?
So we are about to start a podcast called
Nice.
Chimney Chats.
Nice.
I'm excited about that. Every year we have a Journey to Love in Nacogdoches, Texas. And right now that's where it is. And so we
Nice.
invite people from all over. And a lot of people from East Texas will come, but it's Nacogdoches Journey to Love. It's a Saturday conference, and that's coming in February of 2026.
Nice.
And we also have different speakers coming, and they have a specialty topic like dealing with, difficulty in your marriage, having fun in your marriage, fighting fair, if you want to call it that, the foundation of your relationship. 2 marriages coming together after being married, and bringing 2 families coming together. How do you deal with that?
That's huge.
How do
Y'all
you
have mastered that.
Absolutely.
Y'all
I
have
think we
mastered
have.
that.
I
Y'all
think we
have
have.
mastered that.
Thank you.
Not just you and your husband, but the kids.
Yeah.
Like y'all have. I don't know how y'all did it. It's a weird thing to even looking at pictures. Just like, do they? Does it? It's just weird.
They're my babies.
Y'all have mastered
Thank
that. So
you.
y'all definitely need to be sharing that, because most families now, a lot of families now are 2 families coming together. So that is definitely needed.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, thank you for making time. I want to tell you, I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm glad that you're my sister. I'm glad that you're one of my many mentors. And I'm just glad that you're doing what you're doing. I mean, you're always shining. You're always learning. You're always, like, you ain't got no wall space for your degrees, I don't think. You know what I mean? So you've always been that driving force, And we laugh all the time. Like, no, we gonna laugh if nothing else. If we don't do nothing else, we gonna laugh.
I know.
But we don't have a lot of these sit down conversations where we're talking about, hey, da da da.
Yeah.
But you're always showing me, because all I gotta do is stop and just look and see what you're doing. You're always You're always moving mountains. So proud of you. I love you. Let me give you a kiss.
I love you so much. Oh, I do.
And thank you for making time.
I love you.